What if the man who spent decades fixing other people's lives was quietly living one of the most powerful lives in America? Behind the television screens, behind the courtroom-style interviews, behind the world-famous advice, there is another story. This is the real life of Dr. Phil. Millions know him as Dr. Phil, a calm voice, a sharp mind, a commanding presence. But few people know how far he traveled to reach this level of influence. Before fame, before wealth, before television, there was struggle. Dr. Phil was not born into luxury. He grew up in a modest environment where success was not guaranteed. It had to be earned. His early life was shaped by discipline, responsibility, and ambition. While others dreamed of easy success, he prepared for a hard journey. Education became his weapon. Psychology became his purpose. The path was not smooth. Years of studying, financial pressure, professional uncertainty. There were moments when success felt distant. But quitting was never an option, because Dr. Phil understood something early in life. Knowledge is power, and power creates freedom. Then came the moment that changed everything. Television. When Dr. Phil stepped into the media world, his unique style made him impossible to ignore. He didn't just talk, he confronted, he analyzed, he challenged, and audiences listened. Soon Dr. Phil became more than a psychologist. He became a brand. Millions watched his show. Millions followed his advice. Millions trusted his voice. Fame arrived, and with fame, wealth followed. Today, Dr. Phil's estimated net worth is in the hundreds of millions of dollars. Television contracts, book deals, production companies, public speaking, media ventures. He didn't rely on one source of income. He built an empire. While many celebrities spend money, Dr. Phil multiplied it. But where does a man like Dr. Phil live? Not in Hollywood chaos, not in constant spotlight, but in quiet luxury. Deep in Texas, away from cameras and crowds, lies Dr. Phil's private estate, a place of peace, privacy, and power. The estate reflects his personality, elegant, controlled, and sophisticated. Spacious interiors, modern architecture, high-end security, private outdoor spaces. Not flashy, but undeniably elite. Dr. Phil's lifestyle is not about showing off. He doesn't chase headlines. He controls his narrative. His daily life is built around family, work strategy, mental clarity, long-term vision. Luxury for him means freedom, not noise. Behind the powerful public image, Dr. Phil is a family man. His family has been his emotional backbone through every phase of his journey. While the world sees a media icon, his family sees a husband, a father, and a mentor. And that balance keeps him grounded. Dr. Phil's influence goes far beyond TV screens. He changed how society talks about personal responsibility. He challenged modern victim mentality. Whether people agree with him or not, his impact is undeniable. But success always attracts controversy. Critics questioned his methods. Media debated his approach. Public opinion was divided. Yet Dr. Phil never disappeared. He adapted, he evolved, he remained relevant. Because real power isn't about avoiding criticism. It's about surviving it. What makes Dr. Phil different from other celebrities? He thinks like a psychologist and a businessman. Every move is calculated. Every decision is strategic. He doesn't chase trends. He creates influence. A typical day in Dr. Phil's life is not chaotic. It's structured. Morning routines, business meetings, media planning, private family time. His life is not loud, but powerful. Dr. Phil is no longer just a TV personality. He is a cultural figure, a symbol of authority, a voice of discipline, a brand of psychological power. And his legacy is still growing. Dr. Phil's story is not about money, it's about transformation. From a struggling student to a global influencer. From uncertainty to control. From ordinary life to extraordinary legacy. Behind every piece of advice he gave the world, he was quietly building a life most people could never imagine. And that is the real story of Dr. Phil. Success gives power, but power comes with a price. And for Dr. Phil, that price was never visible on television. When Dr. Phil became a household name, his life changed forever. Every word he spoke was analyzed. Every decision was judged. Every episode sparked debate. Fame brought wealth, but also relentless pressure. Dr. Phil didn't stop at one TV show. He expanded into production, publishing, and media ventures. Behind the scenes, he was not just a host, he was an executive. While audiences saw conversations on screen, He was negotiating deals in boardrooms. His mind was always 2 steps ahead. Dr. Phil's wealth wasn't built on fame alone. It came from strategy, television royalties, book bestsellers, production rights, brand partnerships. Unlike many celebrities, he didn't just earn money. He controlled the systems that generated it. Dr. Phil's Texas estate is not just a house. It's a fortress of privacy. Hidden behind gates, trees, and silence, it reflects his inner world, a place where the noise of fame cannot enter. Inside the estate, massive living spaces, elegant interiors, high-tech security, private outdoor retreats. This is where Dr. Phil becomes just Phil. When cameras turn off, his life becomes surprisingly simple. No red carpets, no constant interviews, no Hollywood chaos. Instead, quiet mornings, strategic thinking, family conversations. His luxury is not loud, it's controlled. Behind success, there were moments of doubt, moments when criticism felt overwhelming, moments when the world questioned his methods, his ethics, his intentions. But quitting was never an option, because Dr. Phil understood something rare. Influence is fragile and must be defended every day. Every powerful figure faces controversy. Dr. Phil was no exception. Critics accused him of being too harsh. Others said he was too commercial, but he never lost control of his narrative. Instead of reacting emotionally, he responded strategically. That is the difference between fame and power. Dr. Phil didn't just study psychology. He applied it to life. He understood people's fears, desires, and weaknesses, and he used that understanding to build an unstoppable brand. While others chased popularity, he built authority. Behind every strong man, there is a strong support system. Dr. Phil's family remained his emotional shield. When the world attacked, they reminded him of who he truly was. When success became heavy, they kept him grounded. Without family, his empire would have been incomplete. Dr. Phil's life is not built on luck. It is built on discipline, daily routines, mental control, strategic decisions. He doesn't wait for opportunities. He creates them. Trends come and go. Celebrities rise and fall. But Dr. Phil remains, because he is not built on trends. He is built on relevance. At night, inside his Texas estate, there are no cameras, no applause, no audience, only silence, and a man who knows he has shaped millions of lives. The world sees Dr. Phil as a TV personality, but behind the scenes, he is something else entirely. A strategist, a businessman, a psychological architect of modern media, and his story is far from over. Some men become rich, some men become famous, but only a few become unforgettable. Dr. Phil didn't just build wealth, he built a legacy. At a certain point, Dr. Phil stopped being just a TV host. He became a voice people listened to during crises, conflicts, and personal breakdowns. When families collapsed, when relationships failed, when lives reached breaking points, they didn't call friends. They watched Dr. Phil. That is not fame. That is influence. Behind every successful episode was a business plan. Dr. Phil understood something most celebrities never learn. Entertainment is emotion, but success is structure. He built systems, contracts, production deals, distribution rights, media partnerships, while others focused on applause. He focused on ownership. Dr. Phil's wealth does not scream. It whispers. Private investments, real estate portfolios, media stakes, long-term assets. His money doesn't sleep. It multiplies quietly. In his Texas estate, it is not just a home. It is a symbol of control. In a world where celebrities expose everything, Dr. Phil chose secrecy. He understood that privacy is the final luxury. Inside his estate, there are no paparazzi, no chaos, no noise, only clarity. This is where he thinks, plans, strategizes, because real power is built in silence. But being powerful has a price. Dr. Phil was not always loved. His words were sometimes harsh, his methods sometimes controversial. People accused him of being too direct, too strict, too fearless. But Dr. Phil never apologized for truth, because he believed comfort doesn't change lives. Confrontation does. At the top, there is silence. The higher you rise, the fewer people understand you. Dr. Phil experienced this reality. Friends became cautious, critics became louder, expectations became heavier. Yet he never stepped down, because leaders don't retreat. They endure. Despite global influence, Family remained his anchor. In a world full of artificial connections, his home was real. Inside his Texas estate, he wasn't Dr. Phil. He was just Phil, a husband, a father, a man seeking peace, and that balance saved him. Dr. Phil's greatest weapon was not money, not fame, not power. It was understanding. He understood people better than they understood themselves. He predicted reactions, controlled conversations, directed emotional outcomes. In a world ruled by emotion, he ruled with logic. Dr. Phil didn't just appear on television. He redesigned it. He turned psychology into entertainment, conflict into content, truth into spectacle, and millions watched, not because it was dramatic, but because it was real. Today, Dr. Phil stands at a unique position, not chasing fame, not proving relevance, not fighting for attention. He already won, but his story is not ending, because legacy is not built in one lifetime. It is designed for generations. Dr. Phil's Texas estate is more than land and walls. It represents something deeper, a journey from uncertainty to control, from struggle to strategy, from noise to silence. It is the physical form of a disciplined mind. Most powerful men live chaotic lives. Dr. Phil chose order. Most celebrities chase validation. Dr. Phil chased mastery. And that is why his influence outlived trends. The world thinks it knows Dr. Phil, but the truth is, it only knows the version he allowed it to see. Behind the cameras, there is a thinker, a strategist, a silent architect of influence. And inside his Texas estate, far away from the spotlight, the real Dr. Phil continues to build something far bigger than fame, something permanent, something legendary. Behind every powerful public figure, there is a private world that never appears on television. And when it comes to Dr. Phil, the real story exists far beyond the bright lights of the studio. He didn't just become famous, he became influential. Millions of people didn't just watch him, they trusted him. They brought their deepest fears, their broken relationships, and their darkest struggles into his presence, hoping for clarity. And Dr. Phil delivered something rare in the modern world: honesty. While many celebrities chase applause, he chased understanding. While others softened the truth, he confronted it. That is how he transformed from a psychologist into a global voice of authority. With success came wealth. But for Dr. Phil, money was never the final destination. His fortune grew through television, books, production ventures, and strategic investments. But beyond luxury and numbers, he used his resources to build impact. He supported mental health initiatives. He invested in media platforms. He expanded his influence far beyond the screen. To him, wealth was not about excess. It was about control. Control over his vision, his message, and his future. When the camera stopped rolling, his life became surprisingly quiet. Inside his Texas estate, there were no audiences, no debates, no controversies. There was silence, reflection, and family. Mornings began without headlines. Evenings ended without applause. In that quiet space, he wasn't Dr. Phil. He was simply a man who understood the cost of influence. He understood that real power doesn't need to shout. It only needs to endure. But fame always comes with shadows. Over the years, Dr. Phil faced criticism, controversy, and relentless scrutiny. Some questioned his methods. Others challenged his ethics. Many misunderstood his intentions. Yet, he never retreated. Instead of reacting emotionally, he responded strategically. He evolved. He adapted. He remained relevant. Because he knew something most people never learn. If you stand for something, you will be attacked for it. What truly separated Dr. Phil from other public figures was not fame or wealth. It was his mind. He didn't just study psychology. He mastered perception. He didn't just analyze people. He predicted them. He understood how emotions shape decisions, how fear controls behavior, and how truth can transform lives. While others chased popularity, he built authority. While others followed trends, he created influence. In the middle of global recognition, one thing remained constant: family. Behind closed doors, away from cameras and judgment, his family was his anchor. They saw the pressure he carried. They saw the fatigue behind the confidence. They saw the man behind the legend. Inside his home, he didn't need to be right. He only needed to be real. Over time, Dr. Phil realized that success is not measured by fame or fortune. It is measured by impact. From humble beginnings to global influence, His journey was never easy. It was built on discipline, ambition, and relentless belief in knowledge. He didn't just change his own life. He changed conversations. He changed perspectives. He changed millions of minds. Today, when people look at Dr. Phil, they see a television icon. But behind the image lies a strategist, a thinker, a man who understood that true power is invisible. Far away from the spotlight, inside his Texas estate, he continues to build something bigger than fame, a legacy. Because legends are not created by comfort. They are forged by struggle, shaped by discipline, and remembered by impact. And as the world continues to change, one truth remains unchanged. The story of Dr. Phil is not just about success. It is about understanding the human mind and mastering it. In a world full of noise, Dr. Phil chose clarity. In a world obsessed with fame, he chose influence. And in a world chasing luxury, he chose legacy. From humble beginnings to global recognition, from psychological struggles to media dominance, from controversy to control, his journey proves one undeniable truth. Real power is not loud. Real success is not instant. And real legends are not built overnight. Inside his quiet Texas estate, far away from the cameras and crowds, Dr. Phil continues to do what he has always done best: understand people, shape conversations, and influence minds. Because when fame fades and trends disappear, only impact remains. And Dr. Phil's impact will echo far beyond television. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Dr. Phil's hidden life, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Welcome to Life of Legends, where every celebrity has a story the world never sees.